holding prisoners and enslaved. And the text this morning talks about this particular thing. He comes, and this is those that don't, you can look at it as the six faces of Christ. Really, you can look at it from different positions, but this point here on developing and understanding how to break past this prison mentality. Although you free, you ain't free. Because to be free and not have no money means you ain't free. And the only way you're going to have some money is you got to get an education. And you got to get a good education. You can't get at the bottom of your class. You got to get at the top of your class so that you can be picked to work in corporate America. Anybody here working in corporate America? Anybody seeing any type of bias in corporate America? You ain't raising your hand. Anybody here have been fired unconditionally? Anybody here who have been mistreated in corporate America and you thought it may have been because of other things, but it really boiled down to the fact you really didn't do your best in school. I lost 90% of my audience. But I came to preach the truth. Because this is Independence Day and we're going to really have some fireworks. I'm going to show you how to have a firework in a minute. Before you pop one, we're going to pop one off in here first. Number one. Liberty and challenge. The enslavement that's looking at us today caused our mind to be limited. I understand that it's a cultural thing, it's a popular thing to Facebook. I understand it's a cultural thing to have 700 friends. People you ain't seen since you was 2. You don't know whether they're pedophiles, they're drug dealers, whether they're con artists, but yet they're your friend. I came up at a time when people who are my friends, I choose my friends very carefully. In fact, I got more acquaintances than I do friends. Because all those folks that's on Facebook ain't gonna come to your rescue. They'll report your funeral. They'll report your bad news. The text language. There's a language in texting. In my infant days of trying to text, I'm not a texter. It takes me about 7 minutes to text. Okay. Me. You. Because some keep having with that key that I hit. They keep typing the wrong thing, and then they start trying to put words in there you ain't saying. Liberty and challenge. One of our calls today has to be that we suffer from no creativity. Will we become followers of everything and everybody? We are followers. We're not creators. We're not inventors. We're followers. And when we follow, there is no nuance. There's nothing that calls us to be different from anyone else. There has to be a difference in you and somebody else to make someone look at you and say, I like them and I don't like them. They will work in my business. They won't work in my business. It's your attitude. Yeah. But without a creativity, you will fall systemic for the same things you've been falling for. The text says that later Jesus picks up the Spirit of the Lord, of the Sovereign Lord, the NIV said, is upon me because he has anointed me to preach the good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom. Freedom has to start in your mind. Freedom has to start there because after liberty and challenge. Because in order to be free, there's a challenge to be free. In order to be free, you got to challenge yourselves to go through some things that cause you not to feel good. The challenge to be free means sometimes you are by yourself and isolated and alone. And anybody I know that's successful has gone through their lonely periods. Anybody who's really successful, who really got it going, has to understand that you have to operate independently of your family and your friends. You got to operate in a place of almost isolation where when others don't accept your trial period and your testing period and your maturing period and your period of becoming, you got to be willing to let all that go. And we'll get back to that later. But right now I got to challenge myself to go through these years of college. I got to challenge myself to turn my cell phone off and get my lesson. I got to challenge myself to let my friends go right now. Challenge myself